Spooky Friday the 13th. Yes,
Happy
scary
Friday the
days.
13th, and and happy birthday, Matt.
Oh, yes,
It's Matt's
thank you,
birthday
thank
today. Happy
you.
birthday to him.
And Trump's birthday tomorrow, and President Xi's birthday on the 15th. So it's like the
Oh,
trifecta
wow.
right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yep. So let's just get it started right now. And I'm going to show you from just the all-time highs, not all-time. Yeah, is that the all-time? Yeah, the all-time high to the recent drop here for 81 or 80. And just look at these linear scale fibs for today. And the linear scale fib for SPY, it's basically overnight it wicked below the 598.25. Got down pretty deep too, I think in the on Robinhood, maybe like 595 or something. I don't even know, 594. But I'm watching that. But if you do switch to log scale, it actually 596 is the log scale fib. So it's right in a support zone right now, 598 down to 596. So that's what I'll be watching for SPY for the weekly candle close. And QQQ, same situation. It went below the 525 right here, but right now we can see that it's above pre-market. And if you go to the log-based fibs too, that's down to 522. So that zone is the support zone. So nothing has been officially broken at all. And IWM, this is also, it just got rejected at resistance yesterday. So when we put on the EMAs or the SMAs and the Ichimoku on the daily chart, it's clear to see that it hit the 200-day moving average yesterday, right? That was, or 2 days ago. It hit the 200-day, then it came back down. So price can come back down to the daily conversion line or the 50% 208. And on the weekly chart here, it just got rejected by the 50-week moving average as well. So it's just a big breakout, got rejected. So it's doing a little back test right now. On the linear scale, 208, and then on the log scale, it also got rejected at that 213.89. So lots of stuff that happened, I think, should have happened because just looking at the charts. And I posted a couple of weeks ago that Ethereum was approaching resistance too for the crypto, and Bitcoin was approaching resistance too. If you guys remember on my Bitcoin chart, that it touched the arc again. And we were on the show earlier this week. I'm like, yeah, now that it's back at resistance, you guys are probably all excited again. When in reality, that's probably the time to be more cautious, right? I think I might have said that on Monday or Tuesday. And sure enough, yeah, it went back down to wick below the green level again. It's right around the 105 again. And if you go to this chart, it did another week in a row, the 5th week in a row, below that 103,611. So breakout back test 5 weeks in a row of that important fib. And it still is a previous resistance flipping to support. So whoever is bearish on Bitcoin right now, it just doesn't make sense to me because it's maintaining a floor, it's maintaining a base. And actually last week there was no conflict. There's no war. It was lower. It went to 100,400. And yesterday it went to 102,800 with the war, right? So if it can't even make a lower low from last week, that is saying something, saying it has relative strength. Okay.
Yeah.
Tracker.
Oh, sure. Thanks. Let's see. Well, I'll just start off with the VIX and show you where it went last night, or rather where it opened this morning. It's funny. I didn't know it starts at like 2 a.m. or something. I was awake and I got my little VIX alert. Yeah, I went to almost the green line, right? We were down here doing really good under the 127.2% fib extension. And then it gaps up, goes right to just under the again. Like I was just watching this morning, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and now here we are. So VIX is just dropping right back. It's just a quick, what do you call it? A blow off top before it can go lower and go into the take profits line. 1.4% fib extension down here to 1344 is where I see this all going ultimately. So still very bullish for 2025. My Bitcoin chart, I drew this for you guys last time, or last couple days. I really wanted to see it go perfectly to Matt's 105,998 or this 105,998 right here. One perfect touch here would have been a great launching pad. Instead, it went a little lower, but it's fine. I think the good news is what? It's a higher low than last time, higher high, higher low, bullish. And overall from here, the next target I'm looking for is at least this 127.2 retracement to 122.218, possibly the 141 at 127.552. So there you go. There's where Bitcoin is headed next overall, and the rest of the stuff. Tesla, everyone was like asking me this morning, "Oh my God, what about Tesla? Going to crash? Is it going to 200?" I told my subscribers, no, it's fine. Look, for you, I was even thinking what would be really nice would be a perfect touch to my 23.6. Like it went basically to the just a little over the 38.2 fib extension, and it lost the 23.6, but then kind of was regaining it. And a perfect touch of 305.52 would be a great place for it to launch from. And what I heard was on Robinhood, that's exactly where it went last night. On Robinhood, in the overnight trading went to 305 something, and now we're back. We opened the market this morning, the pre-market, right at the 618 retrace here. So anyway, I'm looking for the 886 back to the 70.2, and then on up to a new higher high. So 350.74 is that 886 retracement. 322.39 is the 70.2, and then on up to let's see, the 764 extension is what I'm looking for. 509.71, and we'll kind of hit these on the way up there. Maybe 141, 127 on the retracement side, and then my 764 at 509.71, and that's for Tesla. And of course, after that, it gets a little bit of a deep move down, but we won't worry about till we get there. It could do 764.382. That would take us right back to 361 again. So we're about to take a round trip up and down on Tesla, maybe. All right, that's it for me. Matt, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, I wanted to show my Tesla chart too, just to get some confluence here. So there we go. So here's just a log scale GAN, right? It went up, held support, went up to resistance. It's now basically right in between the arc and the angle here, and people are asking, is it going to go back down to this angle here? That would be like the 260s? I mean, it had an opportunity to do that with that fear last week, and it fell a little bit short. So I don't know if I see that, but on Tesla, on the weekly linear scale chart, I just want to point out a few things that I'm looking at, and one of them is the bottom of the cloud, and price is actually still above it pre-market. So this has potential to actually stabilize still inside the cloud and not really drift below it. So I'll be watching this basically 313.80 zone as a support to close above for the week, right? Just stay inside the cloud, and then maybe get above the 321.32, get above the 347 later, and so on and so forth. So this is just looking normal. And like I showed yesterday on the daily chart, all price did overnight was really go back down to the 200-day and 100-day moving average, the 307, 306. And I think it did go there on Robinhood to get that. But during the trading day, no. And actually, you're looking at the conversion line right here, and price is still above it as well. And it has the potential to even open above it as well. So 314.30, that's the point I'm looking at, which kind of coincides with the weekly Ichimoku. So all signs are pointing to that support is still here, right? It's still here. Whether it needs to go back down today and retest the 307 again, I don't know, right? That's just for the market to decide. But the way it looks, it's still nicely above the 50-week moving average, nicely above the 618 fib here, nicely above the 200-day and the 100-day moving average down here. It's just lots of confluence of support. So I'll be watching for this 313.80 zone to try to close for today. And with that, I think I'll do the first request from Golden Parachute of Carvana and CVNA. Here's my GAN for it, and I do have a breakout of the ARC here, and pre-market it is below it a little bit, 308.76, but I pointed out on X, I think maybe a week or so ago, that it did break out the ARC, and it probably would go back test it, and it did back test it pretty closely yesterday. And if this does just stay in the vicinity of the ARC, it really does have potential to just week after week maybe build a base on top until it's really ready to go back towards all-time highs. And if I do the Ichimoku Cloud and the SMAs too, we can see that, yeah, it's getting kind of extended from the conversion line, 272. It's also basically the baseline, 249 down there. If you go to the daily chart, we can see that it might need to go back and touch the baseline for the first time today, which is 303.61. and it hasn't really touched it since it broke out on April 9th. So doing that would be a perfectly normal thing to do. And after it does do it, then perhaps it can start to just gravitate sideways and closer to the daily cloud, which would also maintain around the vicinity of this arc as well. So I think it could be potentially around a support zone. It has a lot of strength, but would I personally be buying up here? No, because it already had a massive breakout, right? Even though this arc has potential to be support, I don't like to buy the breakouts. If it had a big back test, right? If it did do a huge back test down to the 250s or the 220s, then I think I would buy that. But I just like the higher time frame back test personally, because if you're not already in it, I still think it's just considered chasing, in my opinion. So we'll see if that can hold. But I'll be watching this arc in the weeks to come, right? It'll be like around 316 next week and then 314. And it doesn't have to always close above, just how you see every single line. It's just a range, right? It closes above, sometimes below, but it just hovers around that price. So I'll be watching that zone. And today, just to see if it goes down to 303.61 to see if that can hold as support. Tracker.
Yeah, just like Matt said, price never moves in a straight line. It likes to find a point and it'll oscillate around it for a little bit. So expect if it goes up, 10%, it might oscillate down below it like 8%. So that kind of thing. I've got, we used to do Palantir and Nvidia regularly, and I might bring that back just to keep in the forefront of people's minds since we are tech bros kind of. And here's my Palantir chart, and I boxed out. I did big old dive action here. And it did, find for 125.1, and here's 141.4 fibs at 142 and 151. I would advise people in Palantir to, if you don't want to sell your shares, buy some protection in puts as you get close to 142, because my technical analysis says, we're going to hit like 764 and then drop back down to 382. So, and it does kind of look like what do you call it? A rising, no, that's what you call it? A diagonal. It looks like it's like a diagonal here. And once it finishes this diagonal pattern, I think it wants to drop. So anyway, just forewarning you here, we've got a good much to go. Oh, well, just like 6.5% to go to get to the 142. So just keep an eye on that. And then Nvidia, my chart shows it's sort of at the decision point. Like it looks like it's favoring going up. I was a little worried that if it loses this 382 fib extension, it would go to the 236. Like in other words, a 382, 236, 1236. But if it doesn't, then 18 and then to the 236, or better yet, the 764, and then only back to the 382. So anyway, right now I'm leaning to Nvidia going 21% higher to 174.34 before starting back for support testing. If I'm wrong, it drops 16% to 119.73 next. Do you want to show Palantir Nvidia, Matt, or you want to just keep going? I can just keep going.
I was gonna do Chainlink.
Yeah,
One
go
of the
ahead.
crypto requests real quick. Let's see here. So here's my Chainlink chart. Is it ever going to go back to $30? Yeah, I think it's going in that direction. The symmetry of this chart is nice. I like it a lot. It finally hit the 45-degree angle for the first time back in April. So that is a bullish development after really consolidating along this orange level for a very long time. And it was a breakout backtest of the arc already and backtest of that angle. So I think it's going in the right direction. And even if you just do a little fib from here to here, it's still holding this 1315 kind of as support as well, building a nice 236 fib base there for the potential to go higher. And another confluence of support is really the 200-week moving average for this chart. It's still basically in the vicinity. That 200-week moving average is at 1347. And it's pretty close to that right now. And this is a weekly chart. There's still 2 days and 12 hours left before the weekly candle close. So it's a very nice looking chart. In my opinion, it's just consolidating for a while, right? For a long time, just making people give up on it. And one of these days, weeks, months, whatever, it's probably going to go ahead to the arc above, which would be in the 40s or even the 30s, depending on time. So to answer your question, yeah, I think it will get back there in time. You just got to have patience and people looking to get rich quick overnight usually don't have the patience to wait for those kind of things. So, but I do. So that's why I keep accumulating on the dips.
All right, very cool. I do have Oxy here. I've got a couple of views to show people, well, to show Jim anyway. So Oxy, after topping out at $77.19, you can see it did this 100% retrace down to 55.43, went back to the 236, and then what did it do? It went to the 141 down here about 46.59 is what it predicted. It hung it down again. So now where we are, if I look at this significant high, 71.18, down to the low we just hit, 34.70 was a pretty significant low. And look what price did overnight. It gapped up the moving average 75 on my 8-hour chart. And you can see and resistance, dropped lower. This could be a blow off top and a fake out. And then it closes the gap. And guess what? It goes lower again. So the next projection would be for, if it continues this pattern of going lower and lower, 1960 was where this would go. I know everyone thinks that every time there's war in the Middle East, oil goes up, but let me tell you, the United States gets most of its oil from ding, 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 the United States now. We get it all from shale oil. So anyway, look out for that. And then if we go obviously into more and more electric and solar power, the only thing we'll need oil for is manufacturing plastics and stuff and tires. Anyway, so look out for Oxy. Now, the other way to look at it is if you do look at it on and say, okay, from this significant low to this higher high, to this higher low, how could it go up? And that's the one I've drawn for you this way, where it goes up to 82, 81.92, back down to maybe 61-ish, about the 382. Right about there. Then 3.6, and then back down to 6.4. So anyway, I'll just hold this for you. You can take a screenshot of it if you want. There you go. That's the other way of looking at Oxy. And then I don't think I've got a US oil chart, so we might have to skip that for now.
I showed one on X earlier today. I can just pull it up right now for my oil chart. Let's see here, US oil.
Nice
So here's my oil. So I drew this on my X chart, and I wanted to just point out the fact that what's really happening. So this is a weekly chart, and price is going up towards the 100-week moving average. Did wick above, already got rejected. It's going above the arc, but it's done that so many times before, and it's not making higher highs. It keeps on making lower lows. So this is officially a downtrend. Also, when you combine the Ichimoku cloud there too, look, it's getting rejected by the top of the Ichimoku cloud and even the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud for a while. So this is not a bullish chart, right? If this was a stock, I'd be like, yeah, this is resistance. Be cautious at resistance, right? So since it's oil, I would say the same thing. Be cautious at resistance. It's not going to go higher, which is bullish for stocks, right? So this is not something, in my opinion, to worry about at all. It's just a narrative to get it back up to resistance before it continues its trend down. I think the same thing is also happening with gold. Really, they're just flushing it to some higher highs. Really, in my opinion. Do I have again for this one? Yeah, I do have again on the monthly chart here. And I think even though the linear scale fibs is kind of breaking above and maybe going to the previous wicks, but that's all they are. That's all they have been. It's just wicks above, getting liquidity above. And I think what it's looking like is they want to push it to the top of this Gann arc. Really, that's around 3,600, and get one kind of last liquidity grab to the upside to get people ultra mega bullish, and then it'll start to collapse and go back down below 3,000. I think that's what it's looking more and more like. So everything is looking to the common eye like, oh, oil's rising, gold is rising. That means stocks and crypto are going to crash and collapse. But in reality, they're really testing their resistance patience, and they're testing everybody's patience, really, because it looks like it is going to continue to break out. But in reality, I think it's just continuing to just get liquidity above and it's looking more like distribution for gold, and for oil, it just looks like resistance. So I'm not too concerned with that. And thank you guys for all the birthday wishes out there. I see them all. Thank you so much.
Yay.
And just imagine when gold collapses, like all the money will just rush to digital gold.
Pretty cool.
Let's see. Gush. I've got the Gush chart is just like there's nothing gushing about this. It is a terrific lifetime trend. I would just stay away from this. I guess Matt must have charted something. Like, can I get an update on Gush? I don't think we ever. I've never done it. It's same thing as oil, right? It kind of wicked above the moving average 75, which is on the 8-hour chart, which has been resistance up to now. This just might be another blow, and it just makes a new lower low. So look out for that. I mean, I can even project for you. Let's see. This is go back. Let's do this one. No. Let's do this one. I'm kind of curious about if we're doing it this way. So yeah, maybe like to 1094 or 911 next. So anyway, Gush, I hope you're shorting it. Is it a good time to buy Mara? Now, again, we just looked at Bitcoin. I showed you how we've got higher high and higher low, followed by it's a lower high, but then a higher low. So I think really this should look like this now, kind of like that, and flippity. It's in a triangle, right? It's got a descending resistance line and a ascending support line, and this will eventually squeeze out of the triangle. So Mara, I think if this really is the bottom, then yeah, it's a great place to get Mara. I'm looking for a 764-382 kind of configuration here, right? And we're still below the 23.6, so it's a fine time to get it. The best time to get it, well, obviously it's at the bottom of the chart, but nobody knows what the bottom of the chart is when you're down there. But going back up, yeah, above the 11.4 mini boss, fought that. We're just struggling with a 236, and once it gets over that, it's going to go like gangbusters higher. So to my 764 extension, that's 115% higher to 3316 is what I'm looking for Mara. And if you like Mara, you could try MRAL. Did I chart that one? I feel like I charted it. Yeah, here's MRAL. This one goes 73% higher for the wave 3, and 100, and let's see from where it is now. It's actually a little lower. 186% to the wave 5 top for MR. Back to you, Matt. Unless you want me to grab another one off the rack here, I could do.
Yeah, I got. I see Rocket Lab actually, because I did issue a warning about Rocket Lab when it was in the 32s. I think on Sunday night or Monday morning I was talking about it last week, and
on my chart right here, I've been saying Rocket Lab's going to go. It peaked. It peaked at the 618 at 3226, right there, and it's headed back down to 2110. That's my target for it.
Yeah. So here's again, like this is exactly what I shared on X on Monday. Basically, I think before market open, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of excitement about the weekend news or whatever, but this is a resistance zone, right? It's proof that this GAN level, bam, 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 like it can't get above it. So any kind of liquidity above it is probably going to get sold off massively, and that's exactly what happened. So still a big resistance zone. If you're looking for support, it's probably maybe the conversion line 2546, maybe the baseline 24. In that zone. And I think it might even need to just slow down a little bit and stay underneath the arc a little bit until it touches the cloud, which could be in the 23s. So don't be excited at resistance, guys. Never. Even though you like want to pull the trigger, it's usually more risk, right? The risk reward gets better as price goes down. So I think what we'll see is maybe 25, maybe 24, 23 in that zone would be the opportunity before it really tries to consolidate and go higher. Could it go down to the 21 again? Yeah, of course it could. That previous all-time high, the 2134, which was set back here in 2021. So that is also a possibility. But anyways, the lower it goes, the better the risk reward. So I think not ready yet, just a little bit lower first before higher. And also with ASTS, I wanted to share that one too, that it did try to break out, or it is currently trying to break out of all of these wicks, right? I drew a black line here to illustrate that all of these wicks here have been a pretty solid resistance. And basically it's really trying to close a weekly candle above it all. And if it can do that, that's actually a really bullish development for the continuation higher and maybe to the angle above in the 40s, 42, 43, maybe even the 1.272, the 5084. So let's see how the stock closes the week. If it does make a higher high from this wick here at 35.49, then I think it can continue its pursuit higher and higher. All right, tracker.
I'm drawing up ZIM here. I've got an ABC retrace for ZIM. Excuse me. I was just doing a 5-wave impulse. So the retrace for ZIM is if it does an ABC back up. This was 50%, 11.4, and then let's move this to the 786. It's 103.2% higher. That's great. So yeah. So let's see where price is right now. I think it wants to go to the 764. So 29 back to the 382, up to the 1382, 44.33, back to the 100%, and the 2382 up here at 64.62, which would bring it almost 127%, to 127.2. So let's just extend that. Oh wait, I missed it. That's the 238 right there. That'd be perfect actually. Yeah, I like this a lot. See, the C wave matches up with my wave 3. So let's see, from our prices now, 162% higher to be right about 44.33. Let me just change this to the 764 and expand it. You can take a screenshot of it there, right there. Yeah, and just to get to my wave circle 1, that would be 73% higher. So this looks pretty good actually. I like this. I could do Riot real quick. I think I've got a Riot chart. If not, I'm just going to skip it and go on to the next one. I do not have a Riot chart. Sorry. I must, it was on an old template. Is what it was. All right, Matt, why don't you load? 618236. Yeah, I think the best case would be it goes 98% higher to $19.45 next. Where does this end up? About the 132. Yeah, I like that. 1945 back to here. The 382, the 1382, 100, and the 2382. Yeah. All right. Anyway, if you want to take a screenshot, right there. All the prices are on the right. All right, back to you, Matt. I'll see if I can draw this URGN up.
Okay, I have a Robinhood that I actually shared last week. I posted on X that it's at resistance and it's still at the green gown level getting rejected as resistance. So that is that's around $73, $74. And I'll be watching that to see if it can close a weekly candle above. It did close a little bit above last week, but right now it's a little bit below. So we'll see if that can change. But still, this is a resistance zone after a massive move already. So cautious at resistance, more bullish as price goes lower. And the conversion line is at 58.51, the baseline at 53.73. So this has potential to go back and retest those levels if it really cannot break above. So that's what I'll be watching the most. See if it can close a week above that $73, $74 zone. And if so, then this can actually go much, much, much higher. And I did actually want to show a Riot chart when you're working on that. And my Riot chart, I just wanted to show you guys what happened, that it got rejected at the weekly baseline yesterday. And now it's going back down towards the 50% fib, down at 991. So it's a perfectly healthy chart too. Big breakout, big rejection where it should, right? It was the first touch of the baseline since it broke down in February. So it's a normal reaction. And even when you put on the moving averages as well, it touched the 100-week moving average right above there to get that extra liquidity. So yeah, perfect reaction off of resistance. And that's just the moral of the story. A lot of things hit resistance this week. So that means they're going to go back and retest support. And that's what it's doing. 50% fib, 991, 50-week moving average, 970. It's in a good support zone pretty much right now.
All right, I've got the URGN close enough here. So an interesting way to look at this chart is overall, like here's the entire chart history, and it's been in a big old downtrend, but it looks like it's here. And if you look at the whole chart history from the 69.57 top to the $3.42 bottom, look where it just went. It had this went all the way down and then said nope, came right back up right to the 11.4 at $10.96. We're at $11.08 right now. When I get a lot closer, I'll see the 8-hour chart. I like the 8-hour chart. You get a lot closer, and now we're looking at, if it can get a new higher high from the 342 bottom back to, I picked this significant high right here, either 1452 or 1576, which price would be, why am I fumbling? No, I want this one here. From here, that's like 20% to 31% higher for URGN. So anyway, I think the answer to this one is ask me again later after we get up to like 15 or 14, and then it comes back down to like maybe 10 or 955. And then I can draw you the impulsive waves. But that's the way I see it right now. I guess I could just sort of give you a preview and say from the daily chart, right? If it does do a full retrace, I guess I have to do it from here. If it does a full scale retrace, it would do something like 382, 236, 618. So that would take it back to $28, back to 19, and then up to $44. There you go. UroGen, it's very close to trying to save itself. Basically, this is what it has to. Oh, on the daily chart, you can see it's right back under the moving average 75. So we want to see it get over that moving average 75, get over this previous high right here, 1215. All right. What do you say, Matt? I could do EOSE real quick. EOSE is fine. Let me show you Oscar. Oscar's also fine. I guess I could do both of them real quick. I know we just did Oscar yesterday, but I know everyone's kind of worried because it got blasted back to my cost basis here, 1425. So my fib extensions, I'm looking for at least a fix. And I looked at Matt's fibs and I said, maybe it's going to extend to like 2080 even. So instead of 1950, I've got a range of 1950 to 2008 or 2080. I'm kind of leaning towards 2080. So there you go. 45% higher from our prices now for Oscar Health. Drops back to 1633, and then on to 1236 at $38.07, which from where prices right now is 164% higher. So Oscar still looks great. Nothing wrong here. Didn't make a new lower low. It's great. This is oscillation around the price action. In fact, I could kind of pull her to get some better symmetry, and maybe it's going to go faster now. All right. And I said I would do EOSE. It's another chart that looks just fine to me. I know it had that deep pullback after the announcement of the firing the CFO and the capital raise, but it went right to the 11.4 at 376, and it's above it now. It's sort of oscillating around. This is from the all-time high. 3195, yeah, all-time high. So it's hanging around this 11.2. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to go to 1140 next, which is 170% higher from our prices right now. All right, and then a little bit of retrace from there to the 100%.
Yeah, I'll do my last one here for restoration hardware, or just RH. I think they rebranded, right? Let's see here. So here's my GAN for it. I had this. Yeah. And it just basically broke out of the arc, kind of back tested it multiple times and held this blue level multiple times, but then it finally flipped it to a resistance and went down to the 45-degree angle here, the green level, and also touched the arc. So it did hit support, right? It hit symmetrical support down here. So that was really the reason why we're seeing this bounce higher. And now it has potential to even go back to the blue level, maybe 238 or so, and probably get rejected up there. But watch this 382. I think this could be an important level to watch, right? If weekly candles continue to close back above 201.78, this could be good, right? Because it is above it pre-market, so keep stabilizing on top of it, and that could actually continue the trend higher. So that's it. Stay above 201, it goes higher, but be cautious the closer it gets towards the 240 zone above. So with that, guys, have a good, happy Friday. And so far, nothing looks detrimental. Nothing looks like it's broken. Everything looks fine. It's just things were at resistance. And we've shown you on many charts how things were at resistance, including Ethereum or Bitcoin or Riot. They're basically all at resistance, and even oil is at resistance, and gold is probably getting another, just one last flush higher to get everybody super excited and maybe depressed at the same time about the stocks going down. So they want to just like convert everything to gold just to take all your money. So I don't trust the gold move. I do think 3,500 is possible now because of my GAN, right? I'll just show that one more time for you guys if you didn't see it before. My GAN chart here on my monthly chart, it's just basically never touch the top arc. So maybe one last flush up, get a wick above the arc, and then send it back lower. So this is parabolic, right? This is parabolic. Nothing is sustainable like this. Month after month after month. This is like well over a year of basically straight melt up. So if you are wanting to buy gold up here, that is not the right time. The time was the breakout, right? Look at that. The breakout and the back test of gold month over month, and then it went higher. That was really the opportunity. Not now. Now would be chasing, and I don't chase. And sure, a little bit higher, just a little bit more pain in the markets, but this is not tricking me. I don't see it continuing. So with that, guys, we'll see you in the next week, next Monday, right?
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like every week. Happy
Just
birthday
like
again,
every
Matt.
week. Yeah, thank you guys. And thank you, Tracker. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
You're welcome, man. See you then. Bye-bye.